Hey everyone, it's Adam here with Worldwide Stereo, and welcome to another Hi-Fi Happy Hour event. Tonight's going to be really special. We're going to talk a lot about what we were discussing on our Wednesday Lunch and Learn. We're going to talk about TVs and TV technology and what we're all excited about as far as what's coming out in 2020. We're going to focus on some apps that are available to us and streaming content and maybe some tips and tricks as far as setting your TV up, what we like, and all that kind of good stuff. So I have a lot of good friends with me here tonight to give me a hand. You've probably seen them before, but it's always nice to bring them back. But you got to give me a second because I really got to give them a shout here. I got to call them up and see if I can get them on and say what's up to them. So hold on one second here. Let me hit some buttons and... What's What's going on, everybody? Good to see you here. As you can see, I got my buddy Tommy, Dave, and Shawn. We are our product specialists and work out of the showrooms. Myself, Dave, and Shawn, we work out of the Montgomeryville location. Tommy, you're down at the Ardmore location. But all experts and here to help you out. So please bring your questions tonight. We want to be here. We want to help you out with any questions you have surrounding new TV technology, what TV is right for your room, anything around that. So it's going to be a fun night. It is happy hour, so I'll start off here my tonight. I didn't open it up yet. This is from local brewery Free Will. This is called Scrambled Prawn, and it is a wonderful hazy IPA with mango, red currant, and vanilla. Very tasty.
Good.
Very tasty. So, well, hold on. Let me get close to the microphone. Oh no. The can.
Come on, bro. This is live, bro.
There we go. Got it. Yeah. Dude, it was like stuck down. You know, I'm with that. So, ooh, there we go. Very nice. Very nice. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
Excellent. Welcome. Thanks for coming. All right. Ooh, a little sour. Very good. So, you all know my cast of characters here, but I want to go around the table, give everybody a chance to introduce themselves. Tommy, why don't you go ahead and start?
Hi, I'm Tommy. I've been with Worldwide Stereo 15 years. I've been in the industry 21.
Very nice. Very nice. Shawn?
How you doing? My name's Shawn. I've been in the industry and with Worldwide Stereo for about 10 years, and I just want to give a quick shout out. I am drinking Warwick Farm, and it's a Citrus Superverse Mosaic Super Double IPA. It's delicious.
Double.
Special. Yeah. Special thank you to my buddy John Norman, who was able to get me one.
You going to make it through the happy hour?
We'll find out. We'll find out.
We already had a nice comment here, and Scrambled Prawn is a good choice. Excellent. All right, Robert. Dave.
Hey.
Wait.
Been with Worldwide for 25 years, a long time. In the industry for 32. Basically started right out of high school. Got hired at a part-time job at Silo. And been doing it ever since, and it's awesome.
Yep.
And I have Evolution Lot Number 3. It's a brewery out of Salisbury, Maryland.
I haven't had one of those in a while. Those were good. I forgot about them.
Really good. It's an IPA.
I know. Yeah. Good stuff. What is everybody else drinking out there? Let us know in the comment section here what everybody else is drinking tonight on Happy Hour. Tommy, you didn't say what you're drinking? Are you
Tonight, Limoncello La Croix. It's sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
Yeah, I plan on using some power tools later. So,
hey, this can only help with that.
Yeah, there's a saying in my house: my tools don't work unless I'm drinking a beer. That's just the way it works around here.
I mean, it already happened one time, so you know.
Nice one.
Right.
Thank you. He'll be here all night.
We'll be here all night. Tip your waitress.
I gotta say, I've never felt so inadequate about my beard until just now when I'm on here with Adam and Tommy. I got work to do.
You got a one up on Dave there a little bit, so you're okay.
A little bit. I guess I got the bronze.
You get.
So if you want to talk hair, so no haircut since quarantine. This is the guy that I'm trying to be. Look at this guy.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
So I figure another week or two, I'll be that guy.
I am Jeb, drinking Sweetwater IPA. Very nice. Very nice. I've had a few of those. Those are good.
That's my buddy.
Right?
There you go. Kirby App says hello. How you doing? Where's everybody from tonight too? Let us know where you're calling in from or watching from. Calling in from. Yeah, watching from. So I mentioned we're going to talk, kind of start about and kind of piggyback off of yesterday's live broadcast at noon, where we had Samsung on talking a lot about 2020, what's coming out, and some of the things that we're excited about going into the industry. And I think I want to start that way too. I mean, there's a lot of things coming out from different manufacturers as far as technology in 2020 with TVs. So if we could, let's start out and talking about what we're all excited about coming out in 2020. I'll give a quick brief story here. I mean, there's a new thing out there called Next Gen TV, and it circles around the technology of what's called ATSC 3.0. I don't get too technical here, but it's over the air. It's an antenna. I have an antenna on my roof right now. It's connected to my Samsung Q90 TV behind me here, and I can pull in over 70 high-def channels, and the picture quality is outstanding on that. So I'll be able to, when this technology comes out, because it was supposed to come out, but given the current state of affairs, it's not going to be out for a little bit while yet, but they'll be able to actually send over the air 4K signals and also embed in that IP stuff, so streaming technology. It'll all be built into that over-the-air broadcast, which is just going to be outstanding. So that's one of the things that I'm certainly looking forward coming out, so I can adapt that to my TV here. Tommy, though, LG, they got some cool stuff coming out, right?
Yeah, probably the thing I'm most excited for is the 48-inch OLED. There were so many customers that wanted OLED, but just couldn't fit it in a particular space. Because a 55-inch TV is roughly 48 inches wide.
Yep.
And the 48-inch will be, about 43, 45 inches. So
that would be awesome. I mean, we haven't had an opportunity to even offer that solution now, so that's great that we have something in it. Looking for a smaller sized OLED.
You guys had the wallpaper TV, right?
Yeah, we had that on display and on the Montgomeryville showroom right in the front there when you walked in.
They've got the new gallery TV coming out too, which is going to be pretty sweet. So it's not quite as thin as the wallpaper, but I think it's under an inch in certain sizes.
Oh, wow.
And it's got a unique bracket that collapses into the body of the television, so it's completely flush to the wall.
Huh. That's pretty sweet. So it's like, so who else has something like that? Like Samsung has like the frame TV almost, the zero gap wall mount that they use, I should say, actually. So that's kind of cool. And I've seen pictures of this when you look at it from the side there. I mean, it's right up against the wall.
It's super cool.
Yeah. Anything else about it, or is that about
it? So the cool thing about it is that you mentioned Next Gen. It'll have the ATSC 3.0 tuner built into it. So you'll be able to pull in the UHD channels over the air, and eventually, probably down the road, 8K over the air.
Oh, that's right. I forgot to mention that about the that new Next Gen thing. 8K is available through that as well. So if you have us supporting 8K TV, you'll be able to take advantage of that too.
But I like the idea of that Next Gen being able to, so many people want to cut the cord, and that's a question we get asked a lot. And the best way,
Thanks, Sean.
Cut it out.
Cut it. Oh, God.
Yeah, a little Full House reference.
That's right. Michael Bauer. Hey, guys. Shout out to my Sean. SB 4000 is doing well.
He told me it makes the hairs on his arms stand up. So that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's everybody out there. That is an SVS subwoofer, the SB 4000. SVS known for their home theater subwoofers. If you want to move your lunch around, that's the one of the subwoofers to certainly grab. If you're looking to
let the neighborhood know what you're watching.
Oh yeah. Oh, and you got another one here, Sean. Props for the clips. RP bookshelves behind you there.
Nice. Thank you.
So on that note, Sean, what are you excited about coming out of 2020?
I am super excited about Sony's new 8K Master Series television that's going to be coming out soon. I believe it's the Z9G Master Series, which we just did a training on a few weeks ago, and I haven't personally gotten to see it yet, but I can only imagine how awesome it's going to look.
Yeah. So the A9G, what sizes are going to be available on that?
I believe, well, the A9G is the OLED, and they have the 77, the 65, and the 55.
Mhm.
And I believe they're coming out. I think there's a 98 that's scheduled to come out this year as well. I'm not 100% on that, but I'm almost positive. And then the Z9G is the new LED 8K TV that's coming out this year.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Where are we at? Dave. It's now Dave's turn.
Yeah. So I'm really going to be digging the Samsung, the 8K sets that are coming out.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking, well, why 8K? There actually is going to be content. If you're a gamer, the new gaming systems that are coming out,
Mhm.
play COD, play it in 8K. These TVs also have a game mode feature, so you're going to have low latency, low lag. So the hardcore gamers, not quite me, the hardcore gamers are going to just totally love this. And then the TVs basically have their best video processors, and they're the brightest TVs that they make. So it's just going to be an awesome experience for just watching TV, watching movies, but really for gamers.
Apparently, John thinks it won't help you. So
yeah, it's totally true. Call John.
So on the actually, I'll jump right on the Samsung kick right now, as well as the next gen TV coming out. Yesterday we talked about from Samsung that micro LED technology. Oh my God, is that I can't wait to. I mean, it's not really so. The micro LED technology was making what they call like the wall TV, which was what was it like some like 200 and some odd inch like screen. Then they also have a micro LED like full theater like 600 inch like massive screen that the guy that we had on, Scott, was able to actually play Xbox and Forza on in an actual theater. So I'm waiting to see that technology get smaller because I really can't. I can't believe that it's going to be, or I should say that it is going to be better than anything we've ever seen in a 65 inch or 75 inch. I got like a 75 behind me, but that's a QLED. But so if it's a micro LED technology where you have individual actual LEDs, blue, red, and green, that is going to be awesome. Genelec is a fine. Ooh, so we had a question come in about a company called Genelec, and we had our lovely fearless leader, Bob Cole, comment. Good to see you here tonight, Bob. Cheers to you. Let's all give a cheers to our company owner, CEO, Bob Cole. Love you, Bob. Good to see you tonight. Glad he is here tonight. Okay, so we talked a little bit about what we're kind of excited to see going forward. I'd like to maybe talk a little bit about, like we did last night. If anybody's got questions about their TVs and how to set things up, please, ask us. We got 4 guys right here, myself and Tommy, Dave, Shawn, that can really help you out with any tips and tricks that you might want to chat about. But I will kind of ask the question now, QLED, OLED. I love this topic. This is a good one. This is always a good question to ask out there. So, and what your take is on that, because those are the two kind of things that we certainly see on the showroom floor and that's out there. QLED, OLED, what should I do? What should I do? So definitely going to put this out there. And Shawn, why don't you start? What do you think? QLED, OLED?
All right, so I just want to get a little clarification on the question because this is a very broad question.
It's a tough
my
one.
Personal opinion of what I would want? Because normally if a customer were to come in, we would qualify them, and every, an OLED and a QLED could be better for different people depending on their room and what they watch. So
well, sure.
If you're a sports guy or a movies guy, if you have a lot of natural light in your room, it could be a different answer. But I guess I'll just answer for what my personal opinion is, and I would go with an OLED.
Okay. All right. What do you think, Tommy?
OLED.
Wow, okay. And why? What was you were pretty like OLED.
I think all around it's a superior picture, at least to me. It seems 3D even though it's not. But like Shawn said, if you had a really, really bright room, maybe QLED. But the other thing too is the OLED panels have gotten way brighter. So like especially the generation that's about to hit.
Okay. All right. Mr. Sailor.
Yeah, I'm going to go more application specific. So there is no perfect TV, but they're both really, really good at certain things. So the OLEDs are not quite as bright, but their biggest advantage is if anybody sits off on an angle, the image is perfect. So in some applications, customers got chairs down the side, and half the family's going to be over there. They want an awesome picture. Probably going to be an OLED. The QLEDs and the Sonys have gotten better, but they're still not perfect in that way. Me personally, I'm kind of lucky. I have all the technologies in my house. I still have a plasma down here. That's my gaming TV. I'm just eyes. Yep. And I got an OLED upstairs in the family room. Not much lighting to worry about. And then the master bedroom has an LED TV, so I get to enjoy all of them. But I really think it's just application specific, depending on what the customer's needs.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, behind me here, I have a 75-inch Q90 LED QLED from Samsung. And I can tell you the reason I went with it was because this room, it's a family room, okay? It's a multi-purpose room. This isn't a dedicated media room, all right? And I did want the added brightness that the QLED TVs can certainly give you. But more importantly was the anti-glare screen that these things can give on as well. So that was one of the reasons I went with this, because there's windows over here, there's windows on next to the TV, and then through the opening into this room, there's a big bay window, and that faces east. The sun rises in that window every single morning until about maybe 10 or 11 o'clock. So that was a consideration that I made as far as what TV I wanted to have in this location. But I do have in the living room, I have a LG OLED. So I also have an OLED screen out there as well that I bought a couple years ago. So, and then you're going to laugh. This is an old Mitsubishi LCD TV up in my master bedroom that had like was it 18? Yeah, 18 speakers.
Yep.
So this speaker had an integrated sound bar, just like Yamaha does their sound projectors, to have surround sound, beaming out of my TV. So that's what I have in my master bedroom, and it's still kicking.
Sounded awesome though. They
do.
Really good.
That's why I got it. It was my master bedroom, and I wanted to have some type of sound system in there without having to wire anything. I was like, I just want to buy something. I just want to buy something and just be done. And so that was the solution in there. So what do you?
I was going to say, Dave brought up a good point about application. Like with my OLED, the off-angle viewing, living in a twin in Philadelphia, a lot of my seats are off-angle, but we sell a lot of brackets. Like Kanto makes articulating arms, Sanus, that we offer. And I think, don't they make the pull-down one too?
Kanto started doing that as well. I saw they have a pull-down mount. That to come from, like if you have a fireplace, we'll be able to pull that TV down, so it's actually at a good usable eye level. Because typically, your fireplaces and your mantles, the TV starts to get really, really high, and you're like this. Look at that TV. That's great. That's awesome. So being able to pull that thing down gives you a much, much better picture. So they make mounts like that. And behind me, I've mounted my TV on the wall. So it's good to have. This is a Sanus bracket actually behind me that I used. At different types of mounts. There's corner mounts, specific mounts. I did a really cool job for a client where there's a company that we have, Future Automation, and it's on a motorized arm. So the TV sits in the corner and the cabinet's in the corner. TV sits on the one wall, so it's really kind of low profile when it's not there, but when they want to watch, it comes out and it sits perfectly in that corner. They watch, they game, do what they want to do, and then it goes back. It's all motorized. And the cool thing with motorized, folks, is that you never have to worry about it. You don't have to touch it. You just, when you hit our buttons on our remotes and you hit off, it just goes back to its place where it needs to. Never have to worry about it.
Because automation, when I was a kid, I got punched in the arm to go change the channel.
I sat closest to the TV. So our old, console TV had one of those Gerald converter boxes with buttons on it and a little 3-position rocker switch on it. So change channel, turn it up. None of that anymore. None of that.
My grandmother had the knob that you would turn.
VHS.
Well, I had that too. I mean,
yeah, right.
The old school console TV that I had the knob, but then there were I guess it was preset buttons on it. I think I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I'm going back to like my
and
first.
There was always a
TV.
certain way that you had to like slap it on the sides to get it to
1,
work.
2, 3.
Yeah.
I thought it was a punch on the top. I would punch it on the top.
Yeah. Dave was a top to bottom kind of guy. I was like side to side though.
Side to side.
Do you remember Married with Children? You know, Al would say, "Get into Fox viewing position," and then they move over.
Oh man, we got some.
One other thing I wanted to bring up about articulating mounts. So sometimes customers they think they just want the TV to hang flat on the wall. They're never going to pull it out and turn it. But if you spend a few dollars more and you get an articulating mount, if you ever need to access anything behind the TV or run a new wire, it's so much easier to be able to pull the TV out and get behind it.
Yeah. Typically, that's right. It's a good call. I recommend that with any TV because it's easier to access the connections, dust the back, ventilation, all those things come into play. I have an articulating mount out on my my OLED mount here. This one actually, I just did a static mount because this is a special Samsung TV where all the connections are external. You know, so this one has the box, and that's where the HDMI connections are, and then you have the USB input on it, and then there's like it's a fiber optic looking kind of style wire that runs about the size, thinner than a shoestring, that goes up to this TV, transfers power and picture. So I really never need to get to the back of that TV at all. It's in my equipment rack down below to access the connection. So
that's the One Connect cable, right?
Yeah, the One Connect cable. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did a project like that with the Samsung Frame TV, and they had big giant field stone. And a lot of times we'll work with masons to move things around, but this wasn't an option. So the installers and I worked together, and we ran that gray cable in the gray grout. And when you sit down, you can't see the cable.
Oh, perfect. So that's a great usage for that.
It's like a really
cable.
Thin, clear cable too. So it's pretty easy to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Shawn, what do you have at home? I know Tommy said he's got an OLED. What kind of TVs do you have?
I have a 900 series Sony LED that I got a few years ago. It's the D series, and I actually had a really unique room where the main wall that we thank you the main wall where we wanted to put the TV, there was a window, and then there's a sliding door on the other wall. So I actually put an articulating bracket up and was able to shift the TV so it looks like it's floating in the corner of the room.
Very cool.
Just a little bit. And then I put a passive soundbar mounted directly underneath the TV. And then I have in-ceiling speakers and these bad boys for my rears and Atmos to give me a full surround sound system.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So Dave there, thank you for, go ahead. Oh,
no, I was going to say it passed the wife approval as well.
Very, very important. Right?
Yes, the WAF.
The WAF factor.
Wife approval factor.
I say acceptance. You say approval? I say acceptance.
Yeah, or acceptance. You know, either or would work.
Yeah. So I noticed, Dave, there you put up your Eagles cup there, and I put up my Packers cup. So they had what, Super Bowl champs on that? Is that what was listed? Did I see there? Is that what the Super Bowl one? Yeah. Well, yeah,
that was in 2017. You remember that?
I do. I certainly do. But there wasn't enough room to put all the championships on one glass, so it won't fit. So that's why you have yours and I have mine. Just that's how it works. No.
What have you done for me lately?
What's that?
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately, Aaron Rodgers?
I went a lot further in the playoffs than you did. Okay, we're getting off the rails here.
Yeah, this is a whole nother topic for another day.
So how about cheers? Let's get football back, right?
All right, let's hope for football back. Let's go. We're not messing up football. Let's go. Let's get football back.
If anybody is in need of a sports fix, you should definitely check out the Michael Jordan documentary that was just on ESPN.
Yeah.
It was everything I needed in my life right now. I know. I'm serious. I'm having some serious sports withdrawal. I've been watching sports every day of my life since I was 3 years old, and now there's nothing to watch. So that Michael Jordan documentary really scratched the itch that I had for sports.
So good. Did you guys watch it? Yeah. Everybody watch it?
Not yet.
Not yet, Tommy? No?
Oh, you're missing out. You're missing out.
Binge it. Just go.
I will.
Just go.
It's so good.
The glory days.
Oh, so good. Yeah. All right. So I do want to get to some questions here. So let me start with this first one here. It says, still rocking the Panasonic GT50 Plasma. What current tech products, the blackest blacks, OLED, longevity, and difference? So let's start with Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
You start. How would you answer that question?
It's definitely the blackest blacks. As far as longevity goes, I mean, electronics are fickle sometimes. So, I mean, both an LED TV and an OLED are going to last a really long time. You know, most of our, I would say probably most people upgrade before they have to. You know what I mean? You know,
Right, like it broke. Like most people are up. Yeah, yeah.
You know, like you know, for you know, like TVs that I have, I've got one in the basement, I've got one in the bedroom, I've got, you know what I mean? They just keep rotating as you buy the new one.
The TV shuffle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
To the bedroom, to the trash.
Unfortunately, you know, sometimes they break.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's, you know, relatively new, it's probably worth fixing in some cases. But I don't know. I think if I had plasma, I had Pioneer Elites, and I had Panasonic. Yeah. And when I saw OLED, that was the first time, like the A9 from Sony. I like, you know, it was like the first time I saw high definition.
Yeah.
HD net. Remember that?
Oh yeah, good old HD net. So, Dave, how would you answer that question?
Usually, if plasma customers are upgrading, they're gonna love OLED because it's the technology's similar in how it works, but really it's about the picture performance. You know, they're used to really good black levels. They're used to great off axis. But I do show them the Sony, the high end Sony LEDs and the QLEDs because they've gotten way better. So I would never rule them out. The black levels are really, really good on the top model sets. And as you pointed out earlier, with the anti-glare screen, that's actually an advantage sometimes over an OLED, depending on the application for the room.
Sure.
As far as longevity goes, I'm sort of with Tommy on that. I believe that I usually just use the average life is about 10 years. And most people are willing to upgrade at this point because technology is changing so fast.
Yeah.
Bigger TVs are becoming more affordable, so it's easy for customers. You know, I got this 42-inch plasma in my house that I've had for 10 years. Well, heck, now I can get a 75-inch TV that doesn't break the bank, and it's 4K, and it's awesome. And so, yeah.
Absolutely. Shawn, I'll go to you on this one. What do you think?
All right. Well, first, thank you for your question. Appreciate it. And I will tell you what I tell most of my customers, that if you were a plasma guy from back in the day, you will most likely be an OLED guy. They're very similar in the sense that the black levels are fantastic and the performance levels. People who gravitated towards plasmas usually tend to gravitate towards the OLED for sure. So I think that would be a really good fit for you.
Certainly. And longevity?
Longevity, I think it's still a little too early on OLEDs to tell. I mean, like Tommy said, occasionally you might get one that just unfortunately breaks, but for the most part, I tend to tell people it depends on how often you use and the environment that it's in, but on average, anywhere from 7 to 12 years, I would say.
I think that's fair enough. And I'll just quickly finish this off here. I mean, the current text for the blackest blacks, certainly OLED has the ability, the way that it works, to just shut off the pixel. So yeah, I mean, that is going to produce the blackest black, and that looks great. And there's a lot of advantages to OLED as well. The off-axis viewing that we talked about earlier, that's something that OLED definitely excels at. So if you have that room with a fireplace TV on the wall, but then you have, you know, these couches that are here, you know, not in front of the TV, but down the sides, and you're always looking to the TV like this, you know, an OLED might be the best choice. QLED behind me here, I'll show you. If you see, like, you notice the white line here right above Buzz's head, where it says established 1979, that's a white lettering against a pure jet black background, and you don't see any haloing and things like that. So that's where, depending on the quality of LED-based TV that you go with, you'll notice differences in that. So something to consider with these, but they can get really black and produce really good grayscales too. So it's really about the application. I think all TVs at this age, when you're looking at a top-end OLED versus the top-end LED-based TV, they can all get jet black. That's not the problem. The problem is showing content on it and seeing if it actually halos around it, how the motion is on it, and what your current situation is. So those are all things you want to consider when you're looking at a new TV. Longevity, again, it's electronics. So we'd like to say they last a really long time. The number one killer of anything in this industry is heat. Heat buildup is so important to consider. So when you're mounting your TV on the wall, don't forget to dust back there every now and again. Get that Swiffer up there and clean those vent holes. Allow the airflow to go through, okay? Don't let it overheat. That's what's going to kill your TV. So that's one thing I can advise you on when it comes to longevity.
Adam, real quick, I wanted to touch on something. You mentioned the pixels when you were just explaining that there. I think it'd be good not to get too techie on everybody, but why don't you take a second and explain the differences between an OLED and a QLED real quick with the pixels and maybe like the full array televisions and what the difference is so that everybody out there can understand.
Certainly. So an OLED screen, you have individual pixels in there, and all today's typical OLEDs are called what's white OLED. Okay. So what happens is in each pixel you have 4 LEDs. They're all white, and in front of 3 of them you're going to have your LCD color filters, red, green, and blue, and they keep the last one wide open for white to allow for brightness, to add that brightness into the screen. So every pixel has 4 of those. So with blending the different primary colors, you can create the color that you need to, but when you go to produce black, you just shut it off. Now in this TV behind me, you have little individual LEDs, okay? And down at the very, very sub panel level, okay? Again, not trying to get too techy here, but it's a crystal that helps reflect the light to, yeah, we're not getting inverted. We covered that. There's a crystal
I had to. I'm sorry.
There's a crystal that helps produce all the colors of light, and that's what the quantum dot kind of thing is all about. But there's the actual LED lights behind the panel, and this TV has a technology called local dimming, where there's about 800 zones? Was it 800 zones? Boy, I forget. Roughly. Yeah. Lots of zones that they can control to say, okay, I need this section really, really bright, and I need that section really, really dark. So it can control back there those LEDs to make things brighter or darker behind there. And that's where that really clean image and picture kind of comes from. And what separates a top-end performing LED from an entry-level one, being able to, again, dim that panel to produce great black levels, but also have great brightness control at the same time. So that's kind of how the technologies work without getting super, super technical.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Adam.
Here's one. Is a 2020 Vizio OLED a good TV? I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen one.
No comment.
Where you don't at Worldwide Stereo, we don't have access to the Vizio panels, and since we've all been at home, I mean, we haven't seen a lot of new 2020 TVs yet on our showroom floor. So I don't think we can really comment on that one. Not being a Vizio dealer.
Vizio making OLED? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I heard that, but I've certainly never seen one. I thought there was some coming in here. Oh yeah, here we go. Justin, any tips for, I'm saying bringing or wiring? Bringing life to a Samsung 65 NU 8000. Still liking it. So that's a great question. Say you have a TV 5 years old, and there's all these new technologies out there. There's all these new streaming services out there. How would one potentially maybe put a Band-Aid on that TV because this TV still works, but get it some newer features? What do you guys think?
I mean,
you go Apple TV.
Apple TV or like a Roku is nice because it has Apple TV features built into it.
There you go.
That's probably what I would do, is add a streaming device to it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's definitely the way to go about it when you're looking at an older TV and the smart TV section may be outdated, and it have the actual streaming services that you're looking for. So a lot of media consoles out there like the Apple TV and the Roku units are great. Maybe a gaming system is in your future too.
I was going to say,
Xbox One.
You could also use this baby.
There you go.
Right on
Xbox Ones and the PlayStations out there, they have a whole slew of streaming services built into them and can integrate with your TV too. So that's also a way of doing it. And they are great 4K players as far as the video quality coming out of those. So that's certainly an option. Bringing life into it. I don't know here, Justin, if you have a audio system or a sound bar or a surround sound system attached to that TV. That's certainly a way to freshen up your system, make it brand new again if you don't have an audio system or surround sound system for it. So that'd be something else you could do. Good question.
Yeah, probably reach out to Tommy, and Tommy could help you go through the settings, and maybe some of the settings need to be adjusted after 5 years and bring a little life back to it.
Certainly, because in a TV like that, it's going to age, so it's not going to be as bright.
Here's a question from Noah. Best way to get built-in TV audio to your AVR. So there's technology out there called ARC and eARC, or an optical connection. So all different ways.
Seems
so
like a rhetorical question.
So built
He knows
into
the answer to this.
I know he does. But that's a great question out there that people want to consider. So like this TV here, I mean, I can quickly here, I'll grab my Samsung remote control. And when I bring up the home menu here, all these apps and things like that come across the bottom that I'm able to do with my TV. And when you're playing the sound and you have a surround sound receiver, you do need to make an audio connection between your TV and your sound system, whether it's a sound bar or a full receiver. So what are some of the advantages, I would say, Dave, of using the ARC connection over optical?
Yeah, ARC and eARC, especially eARC, it's going to support all the new high-res formats. So you'll be able to get Dolby Atmos. It's just going to sound so much better.
Yeah.
So definitely you want to seek out that connection versus an optical connection.
Perfect. Yeah. So it depends on, I would say to anybody out there, it depends on your setup, whether your setup is capable of full surround sound or not. You would probably choose ARC over the optical connection. Also keep in mind that the ARC connection also offers some control. So if I were to use the ARC connection with this Samsung TV remote control to my Yamaha RXA 3080, I would be able to control the volume of my Yamaha and control its power on command. So when I would turn my TV on, it would turn on my Yamaha receiver and the volume would automatically control the volume. I know, right?
It's cool.
Boom. It is cool. It is absolutely cool. We control the volume of the Yamaha receiver, and I didn't program anything. I didn't have to sit with a laptop computer. I didn't have to sit in menu screens and put a code in or anything like that. It just works. So there are some advantages to that ARC connection beyond sound quality with dealing with control too.
That's right.
It's not
Four-time
perfect.
softball America champion, Noah.
Our ARC is definitely not perfect yet.
I was going to say a couple of years ago, we were still running a lot of optical cables because it was a much more reliable solution for customers. But I definitely think that the technology for the ARC, which stands for Audio Return Channel, has gotten a lot better, and we feel more comfortable using that solution in customers' homes for sure, especially with the EARC, which stands for Enhanced Audio Return Channel, which is good for Dolby Atmos and things like that.
Here is a good one that we deal with. People come in and they ask for this. I'm having a hard time finding an under cabinet TV for the kitchen. Any suggestions?
Under cabinet.
Under the cabinet, yeah. So I know you're a young buck there, Shawn. You're a lot younger than us, but people.
No, I remember.
Are you sure?
So
yeah, that was big for like RVs and stuff, right? And we used to use it in kitchens. They had like brackets that would swing down from cabinets.
Every time I did one of those in a kitchen for someone, it would always fold down and stay down.
Well, right.
And then the problem was you lost all the real estate behind it. So I almost prefer getting a TV, just sitting it on the counter and pushing it up against the backsplash, especially being that some TV's pedestal now is only 5 inches thick.
Yep.
So, but another thing too, like I use it. I don't have a TV in my kitchen, but I do watch a lot of TV in there. I have Comcast, so I use the Xfinity app on an iPad Pro. So,
right.
What I would recommend is we have a it's normally used for shower applications, but it's a waterproof Sierra TV, and it actually recesses into your wall, and it's fantastic for kitchens because you can just go nuts in the kitchen, get water on it, flour, whatever you want, and it's stainless steel, so it's able to do whatever you need to do while you're just chopping and dropping right there, and it's perfect. We actually have that. I'm sorry, what did you say, Tommy?
I'm sorry. You throw pasta at it, and if it sticks, it's done.
Right.
It's called al dente. Yeah. Bob Cole knows what I'm talking about.
For sure.
But that's a great solution for kitchen TVs. We actually have that available in our 309 showroom. So whenever we get back up and open, definitely stop by and take a look. It's really impressive.
Yeah, that was going to be the solution that I was going to suggest there with the Sierra, TV that can fit in there. And also, the iPad is a nice solution. But to point out, we do a lot of corner mounted TVs as well with some of those brackets we mentioned from like Kanto and Sanus, and you can get a bracket and just corner mount a TV and save your real estate because, counter space in a kitchen, that's like gold. Having all the counter space you need to do your prep work, Thanksgiving dinner, laying everything out and stuff like that. So a TV can just take up space. So coming up with a cool way of hiding it either in the backsplash or just even a corner mount is a great way to go.
A lot of people are using those frame TVs too.
Yeah.
So just so you guys are aware and everybody who's listening, I've been researching a few times lately for the need for a smaller TV, and it looks like LG is still making 22s and 24s. So to Adam's point, if you have that corner area in the kitchen that's not doing anything, maybe that's a great application. The TV's not terribly big. It won't fit under your counter cabinet. You can't do that, but it should be small enough to fit in the corner.
Another thing you could do too is you could do like a Nexus 21 drop down lift that the TV would actually live in a cabinet and then drop down.
Really?
In the kitchen. Yeah. Dave, have you ever done a job where you use like a Nexus 21 lift?
Not in a kitchen, Shawn, but now that you mention it, there was this really, really awesome outdoor project that you were involved in where, we did it was an outdoor TV that the customer said, hey, I got this sunroom and I want to be able to look out over my awesome patio, but I can't block it with a TV. So where are we going to put it? So what we did is we put it up. Ooh, there it is. Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. It goes into the A-frame of their the roof line, the A-frame roof line, and it totally recesses up into the ceiling.
Oh, look at that
guy right there.
Yeah.
Before quarantine.
Good call. Yeah, that was probably one of the neatest projects that I've done. We had audio, we had video, but just trying to figure out what the right solution for them was, and it turned out great. The contractor was even able to, if you can look closely at the picture, he was able to cut a piece of wood and match it to the ceiling, and when it goes up there and you look up, you have no idea that the TV is going to drop out of the ceiling.
And that's a 65-inch TV, so when it does drop down out of the ceiling, it's kind of jaw-dropping. You're like, whoa, that thing was living up there.
It is impressive. That's a cool mount. Great project. If I can actually hit right now real quick on the outdoor topic, you may have not known, or maybe you did, earlier today, our buddies at Samsung had a pretty awesome press release. So from one of the biggest giants in the industry at making TVs, they finally now have an outdoor TV called the Terrace. And what's cool about that, from Samsung having this outdoor TV, I'm told it's going to be available in the 55, 65, and 75-inch size. But the one thing we've been asking for, or maybe sometimes the challenge of an outdoor TV, is getting you those streaming services. You always had to hook up, an external Apple TV, Roku, whatever to it because there was nothing built in. Well, Samsung already having the smart TV platform in all of their TVs, now that's available outside. So Samsung now has this outdoor it's called a Terrace TV, built-in apps. There's Wi-Fi built in. It has the Apple TV platform and AirPlay built into it as well. They have a sound bar that goes along with it if you just want to have some basic, real quick sound. Of course, we have tons of solutions when it comes to outdoor audio in terms of getting that maybe more around the backyard. But that's a really cool thing to finally have an offering from a company like Samsung for an outdoor TV. So they released that earlier today. So pretty cool, pretty exciting to have that from them. I would like to. Here's a good. Oh man, this is a wild question. Well, not a wild question, but it's a good one. Have the burn-in issues been resolved for 2020? Mr. Russell Warren is asking. Wow. So. Well, sorry, it's a friend. Yeah. So what he's first talking about is there is one thing about OLED that is possible, and it is called image retention or burn-in. That is possible, like it was on plasma. So, Tommy, is that something that they've addressed in 2020, or how would you answer that if if a client came into the store and asked that, how would you respond?
So even the televisions that like for instance, mine's from 2018, has features on it so to minimize the effect of image retention. You know, and when people say burn in, it sounds really scary, like you're damaging the television. You're aging the pixels in one particular area faster than the rest. So like my television will warn me and say, hey, you've had so many hours, and then it sends a white bar across the screen, top and bottom, and evenly ages everything. I haven't heard them talk about it for the 2020 TVs, but the other thing too is if you watch a varying amount of content, you know, if you're watching a ticker all day or the news, first of all, you're going to be sick. And you know, that'll burn in, you know, but you know, if you're watching movies and sports and a few different things, I don't think it's an issue. I mean, I don't see it on my television.
No, I have an OLED out, like I said, in my family room, the LG. I mean, it turned into my toddler's kind of playroom, so it does a lot of Disney Plus these days with Snow White, Cinderella, Peter Pan, Trolls, you name it.
Solid toddler TV watching right there.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And hey, and so I don't know, I might be an anomaly out there, but so 4-year-old girl loves Star Wars. She asked to watch Star Wars.
That's good parenting, bro.
I'm so proud.
That is good parenting. Let's cheers to good parenting. Cheers to good parenting.
Star Wars. Yeah, she'll come. I want to watch Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
Isn't the
Adam, I wanted to add one thing that
what's up?
Tommy that you just asked Tommy. I know with the new LGs, they added this new cool piece of technology where the TV will actually detect, like if you are one of those guys that does watch MSNBC all day, and that little emblem is in the top right corner or bottom left corner, wherever it is, your TV will actually detect that. And if it takes like, you know, 1,000 pixels to make that image, it's going to shut down like 20 of them for a couple of seconds and then shut down a different 20 for a couple of seconds to give the pixels a break so that burn-in issue doesn't really happen. And at the same time, you're not going to notice if those pixels are turned off. And I was really impressed with when we had that LG training and they went over that new thing with us. So I thought that was really cool. And I thought Russell might like to know that as well.
That's definitely a cool feature for OLED to be able to do that. So great. Thank you for reminding us all of that there, Shawn.
Right. Isn't the gallery TV is an OLED TV, right?
Yes,
it is.
Yeah. So they did talk about that. That was a question that I asked in the training because it's been an issue, and they told us that it's not going to be an issue with these TVs. I guess somehow they figured it out. So I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a question from Eric that says, the frame from Samsung looks really cool. What would the lifetime be as basically on all the time? In converse, so there to the OLED TV, these TVs right here don't have that issue. So basically, if it's on all the time, as long as you're managing its temperature, you know, as far as how hot it's getting and maintaining the ventilation going through there, I mean, that TV is going to last an insanely long time. Another thing I talked about, making sure that you keep the ventilation holes clean and dust and those kinds of things. But power surge is something you want to consider. Don't ever just plug any of these things directly into the wall outlet. You want to have a good power center there to handle any surges that come across, not only from electrical, but also from coax. One of the companies we deal with, AudioQuest, makes power center starting at $199 for what's called a PQ2, a PowerQuest 2. And you're going to get 6 outlets on that. And there's actually some that are dedicated specifically for 4K and 8K monitors. And they have a special filtration on them to make sure that the picture looks the best with feeding it the right amount of power. But it has the coax connections for your cable boxes on it too, which can be really dangerous. I'm sure all of myself and the rest of my friends here on here have seen a power surge from a coax wire that has taken out your TV, HDMI cables, HDMI inputs, receivers. So coax surges can be as dangerous, if not more, than an electrical surge as well. So important to have those things.
Sorry.
And to touch on that. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Tommy.
I was just going to say that the Samsung TVs, you can also change the settings so that when you're not in the room, the TV's off, but when you're in the room, the TV's displaying art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good call. I was just going to bring that up. Yep, that's a great feature, the Frame TV.
I was just going to say, Adam, that another great feature for protection of your house is the Total Protection product that we offer as well, which is really great. It actually goes in at your electrical boxes and just protects everything in the house. I could hear Ron Rumor yelling, "Talk about Total Protection!" So I had to bring it up. There you go, Big Daddy.
It's almost 6 o'clock. He's probably already asleep.
Probably.
That's true. He's in a recliner. He's just shut down. He's got to start at 3:30 a.m. So.
Exactly.
So our buddy Joe out there just installed the OLED 55GX, and I rewatched Game of Thrones, the Long Night episode. Huge difference from my previous episode. OLED. Yeah, that was the episode out there. Wasn't that the one where everybody was complaining that the picture was so dark and all that? That was the episode, right?
So can I tell a quick story real quick? The day after that episode aired, I had 8 people come into the showroom and buy an OLED TV because they couldn't stand watching that episode of Game of Thrones when it aired. And they're like, "I'll take it home now because I want to go home and rewatch it right now." And I was like, yeah, we got them in stock. I couldn't believe the phones were just exploding that day. It was crazy. So,
it was a crazy day. I remember that. Yeah, thank you. Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, totally. I'll second that. It was amazing. People were calling and saying, "I think my TV's broken. I couldn't see Game of Thrones last night."
No, you just need an OLED.
That was funny. That was a good night. So he's asking, has technology gotten that much better in 3 years, or are my settings that far off? Well, I mean, certainly things don't typically ever get worse year after year. When the new thing comes out, it is usually better than the one before. So yeah, the technology keeps getting better there, Joe. And we are always going to get better and better TVs as the years keep coming out. So, but if you have questions about...
Go ahead. I was going to say the thing that you want to take into account with that episode too is they meant it to be dark. So, if you wanted to enjoy the episode a little bit more and see it, I told a lot of my customers that if you go into the settings, which I would never normally recommend this, but you turn it onto a vivid mode, it really brightened everything up so that in those really super dark scenes, it was a lot easier to see. But you have to understand that the people that made that episode really wanted to get the point across that it was super dark and super scary. But if you wanted to see it better, turning it to vivid mode does help, but make sure you turn it back off when you're done.
Yeah, because anything else doesn't look so hot on that.
Everything else is going to look like trash. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the Sony A9 has the Netflix calibrated mode.
It's really cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's neat. Some of those TVs have that built into them as far as the calibration mode is concerned. Yeah. I
wanted to touch back on, you guys were talking about anti-glare reduction.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to give a tip to everyone. If they're in a showroom and they're looking at TVs, take your phone out of your pocket and turn the flashlight on and put it up against the panel and see what happens to the light. Some will shoot rainbows in every direction. Some will be super reflective. So you'll be able to tell what kind of AR coating they've got right there with your flashlight.
I think that's a great tip, Tommy, and I think that's a good segue into if you had to give everybody one quick tip on a setting to change, what would you recommend? So, Dave, did you have one that you would recommend, like a setting that maybe people could go in? Look at Adam.
I mean, I guess the setting is because right now people are just buying TVs and taking them home and setting them up themselves.
Yep.
The first thing you want to make sure is you don't put it on store mode. You put it on home mode. And you never want to leave it on whatever the manufacturer sets because they keep it on vivid and it just screws up everything. So really my tip is you want to spend a little bit of time and we can help you. You can always call us or email us and we'll give you our recommended TV settings, but never leave the TV in the factory setting mode.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead. I was going to say, if I had a quick tip, I would say definitely turn off the true motion. Any sort of motion setting you have, it's going to give it a very soap opera effect where it almost looks fake, like the background and where the people are when you watch televisions and things like that. I'll actually only turn my true motion on when I'm playing Call of Duty or Fortnite or some video game where it's super fast moving. Other than that, I keep it off. There's really no reason to have it on, in my opinion. It doesn't help the image at all.
I'll say a tip: turn off eco mode. That's usually a mode that these TVs ship with. Eco mode. It just we'll get the call. We'll send a TV home. So we go, it's really, really dark. I can't really see much. What's going on? It was so much brighter in the store. So eco mode is kind of the old school tape 2 monitor button that really brings the TV to life. So that's certainly important. But I do recommend that you turn on. There are ambient light sensors on these things. So for instance, this TV right here has what's called intelligent ambient mode, where it's looking at how bright the room is and then adjusting the backlight accordingly. So when it's full sun mode in here, and I got a lot of sunlight in, the TV automatically is going to bring up the backlight. But it's not just doing the backlight, it's also doing things like color and contrast, because when you adjust the backlight, you're also messing with everything else in the TV as well. So that's an important thing to make sure that you do have on, because it does really make a difference. And then the opposite of that is when it's night and I shut all my lights off or I put them down dim because I want to watch a movie, it's not at that peak brightness and my eyes are like this and I'm like, oh my God, I need to put sunglasses on because the TV is so bright in the room. It calms everything down, like when you're at a theater. Exactly. When you're at a theater, to watch that picture in a darkened environment, so it's easier on your eyes, so you don't get eye fatigue when watching. So I think that's an important thing to have on, that ambient light sensor. And then if your TV happens to have some type of artificial intelligence around that, even better.
Hey, I will let me touch on that, Adam, because I've had some mixed results with that. Have you ever gotten a phone call where the customer or your client says, my TV's getting light and then it's getting dark and it's fading in and fading out? So sometimes if you're watching TV during the day and then the sun pops out and your room gets really, really lit, then the TV starts going dark and it freaks people out. So I would say that's, like, for me, I think it's application specific. You can play with it, see if you like it. Some people may not like it because the TV does react. Some of the TVs react a little strangely with that.
That's true. That is true. So I'd say depending on the age of the TV, because that technology did come out a little while back. I certainly don't notice it with this being a 2019 TV. Not an issue now, but that definitely was, I think, back when it was kind of in its infancy stage in terms of that ambient light technology, where it wasn't as, responsive, and it would take, like, the sun would come out and the TV was like, oh yeah, and then the sun would go down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then kind of come back.
Oh yeah.
So it's certainly much more fluid now. We got a nice. I just want to hit this question from Eric real quick. When we were talking about surge protectors, he's got a Monster 1250G, and it's got a lot of joules of protection. Is this level actually sufficient in protecting your gear? The answer to that, Eric, is it was. And the reason I say that is because those Monster units that were out there, definitely good units, enough protection. But what was built into that unit that was actually protecting you from surges is no longer in the unit anymore. It does have a shelf life. The surge protection circuitry, what was called an MOV, that was in there, has thank you, Shawn, about a 7-year lifespan. And after that, it's really got no surge protection left. You're in danger of potentially damaging your equipment. When you're searching for a new surge protector, you want to try and find one that what's called non-sacrificial, or something from a company, Furman, for instance, or Audio Quest that we sell, the Power Quest series and Niagara series units, that they're not going to die for you. If a big enough surge comes in, they're not going to sacrifice themselves and die. They're going to shut down immediately and not damage anything. And then, like a Timex, it's going to keep on ticking when you want to turn it back on. So I did. Remember that? Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. So certainly, I think it was a good unit, and it was certainly sufficient depending on its age. If it's at that 7-year mark or older, I think it's time to update that and get one that's not going to expire like that one did.
I can't believe we've been on here for an hour already. It feels like we've been on here for 5 minutes.
It's wild, right? I mean, we start to get
just
going.
Hanging out with your bros, having a beer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. So let me, as we're kind of getting close to the end here, I do want to bring some things up here. We do have a holiday coming up on Monday, on Memorial Day. I want to let you know that we have an awesome Memorial Day sale that's going to be kicking off on our website. Great sales are going to be on things. And as you folks are at home enjoying your time. I just want to let you know that we will be here for you in case you have any questions. And you can reach out there. You can call us. We'll be supporting our website and things like that on Memorial Day. So call, text, phone, smoke signals, whatever. We'll be here to certainly help you out.
Courier pigeons.
Courier pigeons. The Memorial Day sale is live now. So that is up on our website, and you can go take advantage of those now. Ooh, here's one for Joe that just came in. Do you guys see this? Any recommendations for WISA 5.1 setup with low profile soundbar? Wow, this is new, Joe. So again,
I'll let you take that one, Adam.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is a new technology that's out where basically the Wi-Fi technology called WISA is built into the TV, and using a product that has the WISA receiver in it, like a soundbar, or potentially in the future, again, not here yet that I know of, a receiver or 5.1 speakers. You can just set these speakers up around the room and not have a receiver that you actually need to power things with. So we haven't seen a whole lot of this yet. I know the technology is out there, but again, given the current state of things, we haven't been in the showroom too much to see all that technology come out. So stay tuned, Joe, is the best answer I can give for you right now.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. Remember Clips did that a few years ago? Remember we had the
they had the
room?
Yeah. That was a WISA 5.1 system. It was really, really cool. I think the technology was early, at the time, and the box needed, or the made hub needed a little bit of updating, but it should be really cool going forward. So guys, we certainly talked about a lot today. New TV technology. Remember that this will be available to watch again on YouTube and Facebook, so you can check it out there. You can always call or email us at any time with any questions that you have, follow-up stuff. We're here for you virtually to help you out with that. So what are you doing? You're chopping broccoli?
I don't know, man. Chopping broccoli.
So I just want to wish everybody a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you for watching. Let's get one last cheers so that we can get out here. Let me see. Let's go in the middle.
If you don't mind, I'd like to thank all the veterans for their service as well, with Memorial Day right around the corner. So
100%. 100%. Thank you, everybody, for their service that's out there. Have a wonderful Memorial Day. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. This is Adam and Friends from Worldwide Stereo, reminding you to listen to music every day. So long.
Cheers.
Cheers.